Let's look at the solutions of quality quant questions week 30 mixed bag. This is another sectional test like the last one. Hopefully you learned something. Let's go. A can of paint thinner containing chemicals X and Y in the ratio 7:2 is placed beside a beaker filled with 80% acid solution. Okay, so there is can 1 and there is a beaker. In beaker, acid is acid and water. Let's say the other element was water. So X and Y are in the ratio 7:2 and acid is to water is in the ratio 4:1. It is known that 20% of chemical X and 10% of chemical Y evaporate every hour, while 30% of the acid and 10% of water in the beaker evaporate every hour. After 6 hours, the contents of the can of the paint thinner and beaker are inspected only to find that the ratio of chemical X to chemical Y is K raised to the power 5 times the ratio of acid to water in the beaker. Which of the following correctly represents K? Okay, so 20% gets 20% gets evaporated of X, 20% goes away. So what remains is 4 by 5 of X. So 7 into 4 by 5 raised to the power 6 by 2 into 10% goes away every time. So what remains is 90%. So 9 by 10 raised to the power 6. This ratio is K by 5 times of acid is to water. For acid, 30% of the acid evaporates. So 70% remains. 4 into 7 by 10 raised to the power 6 by water 1 into 9 by 10 raised to the power 6. This is what is told to us, and now we have to figure out the value of K raised to the power 5. First thing I can get rid of is this 9 by 10 raised to the power 6 on both sides. And then I can get rid of what? Let me bring everything over to one side. K raised to the power 5 is equal to 7 into 4 raised to the power 6 divided by 5 raised to the power 6 into 2 into 10 raised to the power 6 by 4 into 7 raised to the power 6. This is the final form that we have. Even this 4 and 10, I can perhaps break it down. This 4 will go away and make this 4 raised to the power 5. Okay. And this 10 raised to the power 6, I can write as 5 raised to the power 6 into 2 raised to the power 6. Okay. So 5 raised to the power 6 and 5 raised to the power 6 cancel. 7 will go away and make this 7 raised to the power 5. And then this 2 I can cancel with 2 raised to the power 5. So I have K raised to the power 5 is equal to 4 into 2 raised to the power 5 or 8 raised to the power 5 by 7 raised to the power 5, or K is equal to 8 by 7, which is option A. Next now. In triangle PQR, PQ is equal to 12. Okay. PQR, PQ is 12. So this side is 12. QL and RN are altitudes. QL and RN are altitudes on PR and PQ respectively. If PL is 8, okay, this is 8. Find the area of quadrilateral and the area of quadrilateral QRLN. QRLN, and this is N, is 40. Find the area of triangle PQR in centimeter square. area of triangle PQR in centimeter square. Okay. Let me also connect this then. Okay. I am looking at, if this is 90, this is 90, this is 90. Oh, nice. Look at triangle PLQ. PLQ. One angle is 90 degree. This angle, let's call it A. So this will be B. So the three angles here are 90 A and B. And look at triangle PLQ. I've looked at no PNR. Look at triangle PNR. One angle is 90 degree. This angle P is still common A. So the third angle has to be B, which means these two triangles are similar, So let me go ahead and figure out which two sides are in the same ratio. So opposite to B, I have 8. Opposite to B, I have 8 here for PLQ. So opposite to B, I will have PN here by PN is equal to opposite to 90 degree. Sorry, which one? PLQ, no. So opposite to 90 degree, I have 12. And opposite to what? Opposite to 90 degree, I will have PR here. Okay. So PN by PR should be equal to PN by PR should be equal to how much? 2 by 3. So if this full thing is 3K, this is 2K. Wonderful. Okay. I also see the same ratio happening here. This is 3. This is 3 is to 2, which would imply this NL has to be, I can perhaps make it this way. 1 minute. If this is also 12 and this is also 12, the perpendicular here, this length becomes 8. This length will also become 8. Which would give me this triangle here, this triangle, top triangle, PNL will have dimensions 2/3 of the large triangle PQR. PNL will have dimensions 2/3 of the large triangle PQR. So PNL area by PQR will be equal to 4 by 9. The dimensions are 2:3. So area will be 4 by 9, which would mean area of QNLR or QRLN as they have stated will be equal to 5 units. Now if 5 units are equal to 40, this 5 units are equal to 40, then PQR, which is 9 units, would be 9 into 8 or 72 units. Area of PQR in centimeter square will be 72 units. Okay. I'm just trying to make it more certain. I'm certain the answer is 72 because I have used deformation just to confirm it. But I'm looking for which way I can prove it more sincerely. We care to not don't care for it. Oh, I can perhaps show it to you this way. Area of PQR will be half into PQ into PR into sine P, and area of PNL. This is for PQR. An area for PNL will be equal to half into PN into PL into sine P. Now see, PQ we know to be 12. PR we know to be 3K. PN we know to be 2K. And PL we know to be 8. So if I looked at the ratio, half and half will cancel, sine P and sine P will cancel, K and K will cancel. I'm left with 36 by 16 or equal to 9 by 4. Area of PQR to PNL is 9:4, which would give me QNLR has an area of 5 units. If 5 units is 40, then 9 units would be equal to 72. Even then you can reach the same result. If you take both these sides to be of identical length, then it would be even nicer. You wouldn't have to come up with an expression to prove anything of the sort. Okay. Next, in a triangle ABC, BC is equal to 7 plus 7 root 3. Also, angle ABC is 45 degree, angle ACB is 30 degree. What is the area of triangle ABC? Okay. Look at this. Let's say this is A, this is B, this is C. This is 45 degree. This is 30 degree. So if a perpendicular was dropped from here, 30, 90, this will be 60, 45, 90. This will be 45. Total being 105 degree, all three angles matching. Fine. So I'm saying if this length was A, this length will be A. Opposite to 30, if I have A, opposite to 60, I will have A root 3. And look at this wonderful thing. BC was told to us as 7 plus 7 root 3. A plus A root 3 is equal to 7 plus 7 root 3, which means A is equal to 7. This length is 7. This length is 7 root 3. This height is 7. So area of the triangle is half into 7 into 7, 1 plus root 3, or 24.5, 1 plus root 3, or option B is the right answer. 24.5, 1 plus root 3. Okay. Next one. In the given figure, it is known that O is the center of the circle. This point is the center of the circle. PQ and RS are two chords which intersect at right angles such that PM is equal to 6, MQ is equal to 4, and MS is equal to 12. Find the area of the shaded region. Okay. First thing, because this is the center, or these are two intersecting chords. PQ and RS are two intersecting chords. So 6 into 4 has to be equal to 12 into the missing number, and therefore that missing number has to be 2. The product of two parts that are created after intersection of chords, their product is identical. This is known. Now, from this center, I am dropping the line joining it to the midpoint of this chord. So let's name this point A. PA is 5. PA is 5. And here also, I'm dropping a line joining the midpoint of this chord, 2 and 12. So let's call this point N, B. So BS is 7. 2 plus 14 is 2 plus 12 is 14. Half of that is 7. This length is 7. This length is 5. Because this is 7, this length will be 5. This entire thing was 12. If this is 7, this is 5. So look at PO. PA is 5. And let's call this point N. BN is 5. BN is 5. So OA is also 5. PA is 5. OA is 5. So this much. OP should be 5 root 2. In order to be extra certain, look at it. PN was 6. 5 is already used up here. So this is 1. So OB will also be 1. OS will again be 1. 1 square plus 7 square. This will be root 50 or again 5 root 2. So radius of the circle is 5 root 2. Radius is 5 root 2. This is guaranteed. Now, here comes the beautiful part. Absolutely observationally important. OP is 5 root 2 because it is the radius. OQ is 5 root 2 because it is the radius. And PQ is 10. OP is 5 root 2. OQ is 5 root 2. And PQ is 10. The ratio of sides is 1:1 root 2. Which means the central angle here is 90 degree. The central angle here is 90 degree. And that is wonderful. Now, because the central angle here is 90 degree, I can get the area of this sector of the circle, which will be pi r square, which is 50 by 4. We get the area of the sector, and then I can figure out the area of this triangle, which has sides as 5 root 2, 5 root 2, and 10. And I can also figure out area of this triangle, for which the base is 10 and the height is 2. Base is PQ, which is 10, and height is 2. 12 into 2 se jo aaya tha. So from this, I have to subtract half into 5 root 2 into 5 root 2, and then minus half into 2 into 10. This is what we are going for. So cancel, cancel. We have 12.5 pi. 12.5 into 3.14 minus 35. This is what we are calculating. So let me do 12.5 into 3.14 minus 35. Our final answer turns out to be 4.25, or option D is the right answer. Next question. 2 cards are drawn from a pack of cards. What is the probability that none of these cards is either black or a face card? There are 26 black cards. They are no longer available. Within red cards, there are 6 face cards. 6 face red cards. They are no longer available. So 32 cards are gone. So the first card that I can pick up, the probability of that is, favorable probability of that is 20 by 52. For the second card, it is 19 by 51. And this is it. No more solving or working can be done. So we will get, this will become 5. This will become 13. 19 into 5 is 95. And 13 into 51. 13 into 50 is 650 plus 13 is 663. Or option B is the right answer. Next, a manager allots PQR to finish some work to finish. Their efficiencies are in the ratio 1:2:3, while their hourly wages are in the ratio 4:6:11. After completion of 75% of the job, the manager had to fire one of the workers due to some constraints. Whom should he fire to ensure that the work is done in the cheapest way possible? Okay, simple case checking. Let's say the total work was 100 units. Total work was 100 units. So when P is fired, 25% of the job was done. So 75 units have to be done by Q and R, and they work at the rate of 2 and 3. So they'll work at the rate of 5. So it will take 15 hours. So the cost that you will incur is 15 into 6 plus 11, 15 into 17, 255. When P is fired, you have to pay 255 to complete the remaining work. Okay. Let's go and check what would happen if Q is fired. You would still have 75 units of work left. But this time, work will now be done at the rate of 1 plus 3, 4, which is 18.75 hours. And for 18.75 hours, I have to pay 15 rupees, 4 plus 11. Now, 18 into 15 is already 270 plus. This is already 270 plus. Precisely how much is it? If need be, I can calculate it, but it will be 281.25 most likely. But it is 270 plus, and I know I have to find the person to be fired in the cheapest way possible. I know this value is lower than that. So this is definitely not the answer. Last case to check is R fired. When R is fired, 75 units of work are left, done at the rate of 3. So it will take 25 hours. And for those 25 hours, I have to pay at the rate of 4 plus 6 at the rate of 10. So 250 rupees would have to be paid. And out of these three, clearly, this is the cheapest way to do the remaining work. So who should he fire? He should fire R. Next. The Jan Shatabdi Express reached 36 minutes late from its scheduled time in Ludhiana. If the train manages to reach its final station, Jalandhar, at the scheduled time itself, by increasing its speed by 67.67% over the original speed, then find the normal time in hours taken by the train from Ludhiana to Jalandhar. Okay. Let's say the train was coming from somewhere and it was supposed to reach Ludhiana then going to Jalandhar. It was supposed to reach Ludhiana at some time, but it came 36 minutes late. And how it compensated for those late time, 36 minutes late, is by increasing the speed to 66.67%, which means if I say normal speed was 3x, increased speed will be 5x. 2/3 increase has taken place. So normal time would be 5y and reduced time would be 3y. Now he was late here by 36 minutes, but by the time he reaches Jalandhar, he reaches on time. So the reduction in time is equivalent to 36 minutes, or 2y is equal to 36, or y is equal to 18 minutes, or normal time is 90 minutes. Reduced time is 54 minutes. Then find the normal time in hours taken by the train to travel from Ludhiana to Jalandhar. 90 minutes in hours is 1.5 hours. So option B is right. Next. 3 test tubes of the same volume marked A, B, and C contain silver and nitric acid in the ratio P is to Q, such that P is one of the numbers 1, 3, 4, 7 and Q is one of the numbers Q, 11, 13, 15. If a scientist is told that A, B, C can take any value of P and Q and are mixed together, For how many distinct set of values of concentration of test tubes A, B, and C will the resultant solution have a silver to nitric acid ratio of 1:1? Okay. Now, on the face of it, this is one of the more difficult questions, but this is one of the simplest questions if you are familiar with ratios. Because see, whatever value you take for P is to Q, can you see? P will always be less than Q. Silver is always going to be less than nitric acid in whatever ratio you take for P is to Q, because all the possible values of P are lower than all the possible values of Q. And if every solution has silver lower than nitric acid, if every solution, whether it is A or B or C, if every solution that is present in front of us has silver lower than nitric acid, can you ever reach a point where silver to nitric acid ratio becomes 1:1? If in one spot it is lower than 50% purity, then in another spot it has to be greater than 50% purity, because the new average can only be between the two purities. If all the purities are under 50%, the purity of silver in the overall solution can never be 50%. So for this question, for how many distinct sets of values of concentration of the test tubes A, B, and C will the resultant solution have silver to nitric acid ratio of 1:1? The clear answer is 0. There cannot be any such pair, because the value of silver will always be lower than the value of nitric acid in any solution that we pick up. Okay. Harry has t-shirts of Pepe, Levi's, and Adidas in the ratio 5:1:4. Pepe, Levi's, and Adidas. Harry has t-shirts in the ratio 5, 1, and 4. On Ron's birthday, Harry gifted Ron some t-shirts of Pepe and Adidas. Okay, so Pepe's count is going down, Adidas count is going down. As a result, the ratio of t-shirts of Pepe, Levi's, and Adidas with Harry now becomes 5:3:7. 5:3:7. What is the minimum total number of t-shirts that Harry had initially? Okay. Now see, in this storyline, what is important is Levi's. Nothing changed with Levi's. Previously, it was 1/10. Now it is 1/5. Previously, it was 1/10. Now it is 1/5. Or let's say the original numbers that you had, original number of t-shirts that you had for Pepe, Levi's, and Adidas, Levi's number even at that time was a multiple of 3. So in that case, let me turn this to 3, make this a multiple of 3, and multiply every number by 3. This will become 15. This will become 12. This is the initial number. Let him give away 10 t-shirts of Pepe. Let him give away 5 t-shirts of Adidas. Nothing has happened here. For Levi's, he has not given away anything. So yes, this can very easily be accomplished. Initial number of t-shirts that Harry now has is 15 plus 3 plus 12, which is 30. The answer to the question has to be 30. Next. In how many ways can 10 persons be seated on chairs numbered 1 to 10, such that two particular persons, A and B, always sit adjacent to each other, and one particular person, C, does not sit adjacent to A and B? Okay. First, I'm looking at all cases where A and B are sitting together. There, what we'll do is, we'll look at 8 people and one group of A and B. So these 9 entities can be rearranged in 9 factorial ways. But even within these 9 factorials, A and B can switch seats with each other. So 9 factorial into 2 factorial. This is all the cases where A and B are sitting together. This is all the cases where A and B are sitting together. But within these cases, there are unacceptable cases. Unacceptable cases where C is next to them. So we will find out cases 7 people and one group of A, B bound together and C. So I have 7 people and one group of this. These people can be rearranged in 8 factorial ways. These people can be rearranged in 8 factorial ways. Now, This group of A, B, and C can change themselves in 2 factorial ways. And AB can select their seat among the 2 seats that are finalized for AB. They can switch their seats in 2 factorial ways. So these are the total number of cases. These are the unfavorable number of cases. From the first number, I have to subtract the second number. So first, let me open this up and write it as 8 factorial into 80. And this is 8 factorial into 4. So if I do the subtraction, I'll get my final answer as 8 factorial into 14. Or option B is the correct answer. Next question. A milkman uses an inverted conical container with a radius to depth ratio 5 is to 12. Radius to depth ratio. So if this is 5, this is 12. So this slant height is 13. This is also known. To measure and sell milk. While he sells the milk at its cost price, his customers are unaware that the conical bucket contains a circular airtight base plate, effectively reducing the depth by 33.33% as shown in the figure. Which means, if this entire depth was 12, but if it is reducing it by 33.33%, this is 4, this is 8, this is 4, this is 8. Now, because of this, what would happen? The expected volume is 27 units. I'm saying, wait, we may not necessarily know. I'm saying ratio of the height and height. This full thing is a cone and this small top portion is also a cone. The ratio of height is 3 units to 1 unit. 3 units to 1 unit. So the ratio of their volume of the full cone and this portion at the bottom is going to be 3 cube is to 1 cube or 27 is to 1, which means he's effectively selling 26 units here. And 1 unit he's not really selling. This portion has been cut off by that base plate. So he's giving 26 units, but he's charging 27 rupees for it. He's giving 26 units of milk, but he's charging the cost of 27 units of milk. So his profit will be, let's say if 1 unit of milk cost 1 rupee, if 1 unit of milk cost 1 rupee, he's earning 1 rupee for 26 rupees. He's earning 1 rupee for 26 rupees. So his profit will be 100 divided by 26, which is equal to 3.846 or 3.85%. His profit percentage is 1 by 26. Okay, next question. Pranay borrowed 54735 from Vinay at the interest rate of 30% for 3 years. He repaid the money in 3 installments, paying each installment at the end of each year. The 3 installments are in AP, with the second installment being 40% less than the first. What is the average value of the 3 installments? Round to the nearest integer. Okay. The 3 installments will be, see, the first installment is 5x. The second installment is 40% less, so it will be 3x. And because they are in AP, the third installment will be x. These are the 3 installments that he's paying. Now, he borrowed 54,735 and then interest rate of 30%. So into 1.3 raised to the power 3 should be equal to first installment accrued interest for 2 years. So 1.3 raised to the power 2 plus 3x into accrued interest for 1 year. So into 1.3 plus the final installment. This is it. So we have to solve this expression now. Now 13 cube is 2197. So 54735 into 2.197. So I have 120,252.795 is equal to 1.69 into 5 plus 3.9 plus 1, 13.35x. So now 120,252.795 divided by 13.35, which gets us to x is equal to 9007.7. But we are not looking for x. We're looking for average value of the three installments. Average value of the three installments will be 3x. So we need to multiply this by 3. We get to 3x is equal to 27023.1. And because you had to round it to the nearest integer, the final answer to the question is 27023. This will be the final answer to the question. Next, due to a fire, X% of Ramesh's grain got destroyed. To cover up the expenses, he marked up the price of his remaining grain by 50%. After selling half of the unburnt grain at 50% markup, he lowers the markup and sells the remaining grain at 30% markup. While reconciling at the end of the day, Ramesh realized that the profit generated by selling the grain at 50% markup was equal to the loss suffered from the grain that got destroyed. What is Ramesh's overall approximate profit percentage to the nearest integer? Okay, let's see. Let's say Ramesh got 100 kg of grain at 100 per kg. His overall cost was 10,000. His overall cost is 10,000. Now, some part of it got destroyed. Some part of it got destroyed. So I'm saying what was not destroyed? Unburnt. I'm keeping as 2a. So burnt would be 100 minus 2a. Now within the unburnt, half of it is sold at 150. 50% markup. And the other half is sold at 130, 30% markup. Unburnt, the burnt portion was entirely wasted. Now, this was the fun part. This is the maths part of it. Ramesh realized that the profit generated by selling the grain at 50% markup. For a kg, he sold at 50% markup. The profit here is 50a. This is equal to the loss suffered from the grain that got destroyed. Now, the loss for the grain that got destroyed is the entire cost. 100 kg per kg of grain that got destroyed. So 100 into 100 minus 2a. This is known to us. So let me go ahead and open this. First thing I'll do is this. So a is equal to 200 minus 4a, or 5a is equal to 200, or a is equal to 40, which means there were 80 kgs of unburnt grain. There were 20 kg of burnt grain. So the revenue generated, or the profit generated, is 40 into 50. 40 into 50, 2000 here. And the profit generated here, oh, I don't even, this is the profit from here. The loss from here is minus 2000. The net profit is only here, 40 into 30, 1200. So on a cost of 10,000, the profit generated is 1200. 1200 by 10,000 into 100, profit percentage will clearly be 12. Profit percentage will clearly be 12. Nice. For how many integral values of x does the inequality x plus 1, x plus 3, x plus 5, so on and so forth, up until x plus 9 is less than 0 hold good? Okay. These are all odd numbers. These are how many brackets? 50 brackets. Even number of brackets. Which means 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, so on and so forth up until 99. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21. I'm saying because these are 50 brackets, if I take a value of x less than 1, okay, I have made a mistake. I have made a mistake. I should not have written it this way. The roots are not positive numbers. The roots are extremely negative numbers. I'm redrawing. The roots need to be presented nicely. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, so on and so forth, up until 99. But the wonderful thing this time is they have to be placed this way. -7, -9, -11, -13, -15, -17, and here -99. Now see, if I take the value of x lower than -99, if I take the value of x lower than -99, every term here will be negative. Every term here will be negative. And there are 50 such terms. 99 is the 50th odd number. This is x plus odd number, 50th odd number. So in this part, the graph will be positive. And what happens here? We'll figure out from the right side. And if every number, if I take the value of x greater than -1, if I take the value of x greater than -1, then every bracket will be positive. Every bracket will be positive. So our graph will be like this. At precisely x equal to -1, this entire thing would be equal to 0. Now, if I take the value of x somewhere between -1 and -3, this bracket will be negative, the rest will be positive, or overall the net result will be negative. Now, this value will keep on going down until it reaches a turning point and then starts going up, because at x equal to -3, again, this will be equal to 0. And this should perhaps give you how the movement would take place here. The movement of the graph will be like this. What is happening in between, I don't care for, because now notice where all, for what integral values are you getting negative value for this function? Can you see it will be between -1 and -2? So at x equal to -2, at x equal to -6, at x equal to -10, at x equal to -14. This is basically an AP. This is basically an AP. 2, 4, 6, 10, 14, so on and so forth. We will keep on going until we will reach x equal to -98. These are all 4n plus 2 kind of number. And how many numbers are there? A is equal to -2, B is equal to -4, L is equal to -98. Can I say -98 is equal to -2 plus n minus 1 into -4. First thing, I'll get rid of all these minus signs. So I'll have 96 is equal to n minus 1 into 4, or n minus 1 is 24, or n is 25. There are precisely 25 integers for which this inequality holds good. Because 25 is not present among the options, the correct answer is none of the above. Okay. Next. Ram and Lakhan started running towards each other from the opposite ends of a straight road. Ram started at 11 a.m. while Lakhan started at 2 p.m. and met Ram for the first time at point O on the road. Okay. Let's say they met here for the first time. This is point O. Ram started from here. Lakhan started from here. If speed of Ram is R and speed of Lakhan is L, Ram started at 11 a.m. while Lakhan started at 2 p.m. Okay. They continued meeting till they met at O. This is the first meeting point 1. They continued running till they reached the opposite ends. Immediately after that, they changed direction towards towards their starting point, and again met at the same point too. Oh, this is also their second meeting point. If they met for the first time at 3 p.m., what is the ratio of speed of Lakhan to that of Ram? Okay, now see this wonderful thing. Ram started at 11 a.m. and they met for the first time at 3 p.m. So can I say Ram ran for 4 hours before reaching O? So this distance is as good as 4R. This distance is as good as 4R. Lakhan started running at 2 p.m. and he met Ram at O at 3 p.m. So this distance is as good as L, speed of Lakhan. Now, they first met at O. Then Lakhan has gone 4R forward and then 4R backward. 8 hours at the speed of L takes the same time as 2L at the speed of R. 8R at the speed of L takes the same amount of time as 2L at the speed of R. Great. So we get L square by R square is equal to 4, or L by R will be equal to 2 by 1. Finally, we needed the ratio of speed of Lakhan to that of Ram. It turns out to be 2:1, or option C is the right answer. Next, find the sum of all possible values of x where blah 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 is given. Okay. Right now, cursory glance tells us this is in base 10, 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 this is an absolute value. Let me turn it to base 10. Log 100 to the base 10. Done. So we will have how much? X into x minus 7 into 5 by 3 is equal to 100. So cancel 20. X into x minus 7 is equal to 60. So x will be equal to 12. Two numbers that differ by 7 and have their product as 60, it will be 5. 12 or minus 5. But minus 5 is not acceptable because then log x to the base 10 will not be defined. So the only possible value of x is 12. So sum of all possible values of x is also 12. Okay. Next. Sum of squares of two positive integers is 25 times the large number. So let's say there is a large number, there is a small number. So L square plus S square is equal to 25L. And the difference of the squares of the positive integers is 7 times the larger number. So L square minus S square is equal to 7L. Okay, let's add these two equations. We will get how much? 2L square is equal to 32L, or L is equal to 60. So if L is 16, I have 256 plus s square is equal to 400, or s square is 144, or s is 12. The smaller number in this instance is 12. Next question. An equilateral triangle whose perimeter is equal to 36 is rotated about its side to form a closed solid figure. Find the volume of the solid so formed. Okay. So let's say an equilateral triangle. This perimeter is 36, the side is 12. So if it is rotated about, let's say this side, what would happen? Something of this sort will be made. Okay, so it will be, the top part will be a cone, the bottom part will be a cone. Both these cones are going to be identical. The radius of the cone, the radius of the base surface will be the height of the triangle. And this, sorry, the radius of the cone will be the height of the triangle, and height of the cone will be half the side. So this is 6. Height of the triangle is root 3 by 2 into 12. So 6 root 3. So my volume of the solid so formed will be 2 into 1 by 3 pi 6 root 3 whole square is 108. Yes, 108 into 6. Pay attention what is happening. See, the sort of figure that is getting created. This is the equilateral triangle. But the shape, the solid that is getting created, this is the height, or how do I put it? This way, this portion and this portion. Height of the triangle is the base radius of the cone generated, and half the side length, half the side length of the triangle is the height of the cone generated, and there are two such cones getting generated. So for this cone, the volume is 1 by 3 pi. This is 6 root 3. This is 6. So 6 root 3 square is 108, height into 6. And there are two such cones generated. So into 2. So we have to take care of this. 108 into 2 is 216, into 2 is 432 pi. Or the final answer is option D, 432 pi. Next, the sum of the series. Okay. So S is equal to 7 by 15 plus 77 by 15 square plus 777 by 15 cube plus so on and so forth. Okay, first thing, we multiply everything by 1 by 15. So 1 by 15 S is equal to 7 by 15 square plus 77 by 15 cube, so on. I'm not even taking care of the fourth one. Fourth, as in the fourth term that they have given. Now, difference wise, what will we get? Here I will get 14 by 15S is equal to 7 by 15 plus 70 by 15 plus 700 by 15 cube. Okay. I can get rid of 7 from the numerator everywhere. This becomes 2. This becomes 1. This becomes 10. This becomes 100. So cool. And then 1 by 15, 10 by 15, 100 by 15 cube. Okay, this seems like a GP with A being equal to 1 by 15 and R being equal to 10 by 15. So 2 by 15s is equal to, this is an infinite GP, 1 by 15 into 1 by R is 10 by 15 is 2 by 3. So 1 minus 2 by 3, or it will turn to 1 by 3. 1 minus 2 by 3. This 15 and this 15 will go away, which gives us S is equal to 1 by 2 into 3, or S is equal to 3 by 2, or option A is the right answer. Okay. For any infinite series, simply multiply it by the GP portion of the series that you see. The subsequent processing, you can do it in different ways, but the first step has to be multiplied by the GP portion of the series that you see. Next, Ram can do a piece of work in 15 days. Sham can do the same piece of work in 20 days. So let's say the total work was 60. So Ram does it at the rate of 4, Sham does it at the rate of 3. They work together for 5 days. So in 5 days, at the rate of 4 and 3, 35 units are done. And then Ram leaves. Ram is no longer available. On which day from the beginning will the work be completed? Okay. Now 25 units will be done at the rate of 3. So it will take us 8.33 days. For the 5 days, 2 people together worked. Then 8.33 days, Sham worked alone. So total time taken is 13.33 days. So on whichth day will the work be done? The work will be done on the 14th day. The work will be done on the 14th day. When 13 is completed and the next day has started, then it is the 14th day, not the 13th day. Okay. Next, x and y are prime numbers such that x is greater than y, such that x minus y and x plus y are also prime. How many natural number divisors does z equal to x into y plus 2 have? This is an amazing question. Look at this. X minus y, x, and x plus y. These are 3 numbers in AP. These are 3 numbers in AP. And we are also told y. Y is also prime. All 4 of them have to be prime. All 4 of them have to be prime. Now, if the only way this can work is, see, if x plus y and x minus y both are prime, if x plus y and x minus y both are prime, there is just one even prime number. There is just one even prime number. X, can it be 2? Because 2 minus something will not get me to prime. X cannot be even. Not even. Let's say not even. Can x plus y be even? If x is not even, x is necessarily odd. Now can y be odd? If y is odd, x plus y will be an even number. X plus y will be an even number. If x plus y is an even number, it will not be prime. So the only way it happens is y is even. And the only even prime number that we know of is 2. So now the numbers that I have are x minus 2, x, and x plus 2. Look at these 3 numbers. These three numbers are in AP. Their common difference is 2. So they have to be prime. All 3 of them have to be prime. How can they be prime? Because if you pay attention, these are 3 consecutive odd numbers. These are 3 consecutive odd numbers. And if you pick up any 3 consecutive odd numbers, every group will have at least one multiple of 3. So how can they be prime? If those 3 consecutive odd numbers have 3 itself included, which means x minus 2 is 3, x is 5, and x plus 2 is 7. This is 3, this is 5, this is 7, and this is 2. These are the numbers involved. Finally, how many natural numbers does z? Z is equal to 5 into 2 plus 2 or z is equal to 12. Now prime factorized form of 12 is 2 square into 3. How many factors will there be? 3 into 2, or there are 6 factors for z. If you want to list out the factors, even that can be done because this is a fairly small number. These are the different factors of 12. There are 6 factors of z. But being able to identify that y has to be even and x minus 2, x and x plus 2, there is only one possibility, 3, 5, 7. There cannot be any other possibility. That is the intelligent part of this question. Next. All the people of a village attended a rally organized by a political leader. They used bullock carts for transportation. Halfway to the rally, 20 bullock carts broke down. So each of the other bullock carts had to carry 2 extra people. Okay. On the return journey, 30 more bullock carts broke down. So each of the remaining bullock carts had to carry 6 more people than what they started out in the morning. Determine the number of people who attended the rally. So I'm saying carts and people per cart. Let's say there were X carts and people per cart were supposed to be K. 20 carts broke down. So X minus 20, 2 extra people. So we have first thing XK is equal to XK minus 20K plus 2X minus 40, or XK gone. We'll have X minus 10K is equal to 20. X minus 10K is equal to 20. On the return journey, 30 more bullock carts broke down. So X minus 50. So each of the remaining bullock carts had to carry 6 more people than they had started out in the morning. So K plus 6. So again, XK is equal to XK minus 50K plus 6X minus 300. XK gone. So we have 3X minus 25K is equal to 150. This is another equation. Basically, I've divided by 2 and then done the future processing. So let's multiply this by 3. Let's multiply this by 3. We'll have 3X minus 30K is equal to 60, which gives us minus plus minus 5K is equal to 90, or K is equal to 18. If K is equal to 18, X minus 180 is equal to 20, or X is equal to 200. Initially, 200 people were supposed to come, 200 carts were there, and per cart there were supposed to be 18 people. Then when 180 carts were left, 20 people per cart seems fine. When 150 carts were left, 24 people per cart, absolutely fine. In either case, total number of people who attended the rally will of course be 3600. Whether you take 200 into 18 or 180 into 20 or 150 into 24, in either case, you will reach 3600. And that is the entirety of this week's video. Hopefully you learned something. This is the end of quality quant question series. And I hope you learned throughout the year. That will be all. Go home, have fun. Okay, bye.